It's Sharon here. I have a quick question for you. One that might help you to see what I couldn't see because I was just in far too close. Have you ever had a dream that was so vivid that you could see and feel the result in your hands? Most dreams just don't start out that way. They start out with an idea and a little bit of thinking, and finally they crystallize. And some of them, they work out into a great and wonderful thing. My dream and vision of being an author has always been alive. Since I was a little girl, I thought about a book that I might write, but I never had a name for it. I never had a cover. I didn't even have the topic. I thought of many topics that I might write a book upon. My published book started from a speech that I gave about a subject that I was very passionate about. You see, I went to a conference, and one in which they had the same categories of topics over and over and over again. And they told us how, as a high-tech consultant or practitioner, how we might do something. But nobody ever talked about the role of that high-tech person on how they might actually do the job. And I thought, let's get down to it. And I talked about it, and people loved my speech. So I thought, I have something here. Part of turning your dream into reality is creating a plan. I do this for a living. I do this for other business. Actually, when I create a speech, I always create a plan. And now it's my turn. It was my turn to put my dreams into reality. Do you know that the number 2 dream of all dreams people have is actually to write a book? Mine started with a speech. Everybody has a story to tell. Mine was a speech about something that I knew very, very well. And when it was time to create a plan, I turned to something that I knew, as something that I did for others. It was a skill that I have that I could use for myself. You see, I like to build frameworks. Basically, they are grids or they are steps that people follow in order to achieve an objective. So I decided to do this for my book. I built a framework. It was a grid, and I filled in which my chapters would be, or my sections, and the topics, and as well as the real general themes for each one of them. I had to take my framework and then turn it actually into a formal plan so that I could get to writing. You see, I like tools, and so I researched and figured out what my book could be. And I also figured out what I didn't want it to be. This plan was great because it allowed me to find a really unique niche in the market, and it allowed me to take someone from an early point in their career and show them how they could transition all the way to a point at being excellent in what it is that they do. And that was my theme. It was excellence. Well, this is a nice vision, but really it was a rather daunting responsibility for a book to take, don't you think? Well, I took that diagram and I added some spice. I added a hook for each chapter, something that no one else had ever said about my topic on each chapter. And I added other special features. But what I didn't add, it was a key ingredient. I can't believe I missed it. But it was the reality. It was that little bit of reality. I knew this was going to be excellent, but did I ever stop and think how this would really fit into my life? I had a plan, and that plan turned into 25 chapters, 25 cells in a grid. It was 5 deep by 5 wide. I then turned to a hotel room where I could get isolated time to write. I asked my husband, who was generously giving of his time for me to be away for a couple of days, and I took my piles of research and paper, which amounted to a banker's box full, and I walked into a hotel room. If I were advising a client, I'd tell them, scale it back. You don't have to tell someone everything you know all at once. When you're really passionate about something, that might be the case. But I was in this, and I was in far too close. I spoke my book, and then I had it transcribed. And when I was done, and I had said everything that I wanted to say, it amounted to well over 450 pages. My objective here, in this audio and video, as well as in this chapter of this book, is to show you that you can take your dream, add some reality, add a few tools to make that reality come true, and don't give up. Please don't give up, because everybody has something to say, and everybody's dream is worth something.